गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि व्रतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Dear friends, we are towards the end of the commentary, Shankaracharya's commentary on the fifth Anuvaka of Brahmanandavalli of Taittiriya Upanishad. We are in this Brahmanandavalli, fifth Anuvaka, the Bhashyam, we are coming to an end. The discussion was about the Ananda. There are two words here, Vishayananda versus Brahmananda. Vishayananda is the happiness we derive when we acquire or when we get an object, when we own an object, when we enjoy an object, with the happiness we get. And the happiness we derive from that particular object is called Vishayananda. And Brahmananda is the bliss which is otherwise called Brahman. Brahman itself is Ananda. Brahman itself is Ananda because Brahman itself is infinite, that is Ananta. And then there is nothing which is wanting in that. When there is nothing wanting in that, there is no question of any sort of unhappiness, there is no question of desiring for something extra. It is only when a person feels, say, finite, when a person feels that he is delimited in a body-mind complex, then he wants this, he wants some things, he wants some happiness from an external object. So that happiness from an external object is nothing but a reflection of that Brahmananda only. That reflection of that Brahmananda only, whatever happiness you derive from any object, that Vishayananda is but a small glimpse of the Brahmananda. So that is where we are. And then if we want to, in this journey of say gradually discarding the lower, discarding our identification with the lower selves, because initially we start identifying with Annamaya Kosha, then Pranamaya Kosha, you discard Annamaya, you discard Pranamaya, you discard Manomaya, and then gradually discarding all that, you have come to Anandamaya Kosha. So this Anandamaya Kosha is again not Brahma. That is what, the point here. There was a theory in those days, even today even today by the dualists, that Anandamaya Kosha is itself Brahma. But according to the Upanishad, actual interpretation of the Upanishads, Anandamaya Kosha cannot be Brahma. And Shankaracharya gave so many reasons. He gave some 5-6 reasons to explain that Anandamaya Kosha is not Brahma. And then what exactly is this Anandamaya which you are having, Ananda which you experience in this particular Kosha? It is the Vishayananda. And then if we want to graduate to the level of Brahmananda, what are we supposed to do? We have to shed our limited identity and then identify with a bigger thing. And once you do that, then all this one kamopashamotkarshapekshaya, this kama is desire. Upashama is, that is disappearance of the desire. Upashama. Kama upashama. Upashama actually means to cool down. For example, there is a fire. Agni Shamana. Agni Shamana, suppose you put water onto that Agni and then that Agni is quenched. That fire is quenched. That fire is put off. So here the desires are put off. The desire, like you put off a candle, like you put off some fire by putting some water on that, the desire is put off. Not forcibly, but by viveka, but by analyzing, but by reasoning, but by properly understanding the nature of things. So this kama is now upashama. Kama can be controlled, not forcibly. If you control it forcibly, again it will emerge. It will emerge with some sort of say revitalized or reinvigorated force. But it is not so here. So here it is kamopashama is by viveka. So kamopashama utkarsha apekshaya. Utkarsha means the intensity of that kamopashama. Apekshaya, in proportion to the intensity of your, say that, your victory over kama, let us say. In proportion to the intensity of your victory over desire. So in proportion to that, Shatagunottarottkarsha anandasya vakshyate. The text is going to say that compared to human beings, the Gandharvas are 100 times better in the sense that their desires are less. So their ananda is more. Compared to Gandharvas, some other entity, some other yaksha or somebody, and there are so many celestial intermediate levels which are talked about. Maybe you can take it even metaphorically, you can take it literally if you want. So this yaksha, for example, so that man is 100 times more, 100 times better in the sense their kamopashama, utkarsha is 100 times more than the kamopashama utkarsha of a human being or of a Gandharva. So that means that his bliss is 100 times more. And then ultimately, the Brahmananda is equal to the Ananda of a person who has totally vanquished the desires. Totally, this akamahataha, shrotriyasya akamahataha, we are going to see that word later. So akamahata means totally the desires are totally quenched and then you have identified yourself with the Supreme Brahman. So at that level, he is at the level of Brahmananda. So that is what is the text. So we have stopped at this point. Anandasya Shatagunottarottarottkarsha. Shataguna uttarottara utkarsha. Uttarottara, Shataguna plus uttarottara plus utkarsha. Shatagunottarottarottkarsha. Anandasya vakshyate. That is 100 times more and 100 times more. So that is what it means. 100 times more. And then to the next man 100 times more, to the next man 100 times more. So it's a sort of exponential growth of Ananda. So that is it. So now we have to read. Evancha utkrushyamanasya anandamayasya atmanah paramartha brahma vijnanapekshaya brahma parameva yat prakrutam Satyajnananantalakshanam Yasya cha pratipatyartham Pancha annadimayah koshaha upanyastah Evamcha. Okay, in this manner, Utkrushyamanasya anandamayasya atmanah. Of this thing, this anandamaya atma is something which is increasing exponentially. In your case, it is 1. In Gandharva's case, it is 100. And in the case of some other Rajana, Devas or somebody like that, 100 into 100. And the next level, 100 into 100 into 100 cube, let us say 100, 100 square, 100 cube, 100 and 100 to the power of 4, 100 to the power of 5, etc., etc. It is going on, but at the same time, it is something which is limited, isn't it? It is 100, 101, there was 100, next 100, 100 to the power of 100 square, 100 cubed, 100 to the power of 4, power 5, etc., etc. It is increasing, but still it is a finite number, isn't it? Yeah. So that is why Utkrusyamanasya anandamayasya atmanah, it is just Utkrusyamanasya means that which is increasing, that's all. It is exponentially increasing, that's all. Anandamayasya atmanah, in comparison with this Parabrahma Vijnana Apekshaya. That is Paramartha Brahma Vijnana Apekshaya, from the point of view of the awareness of Brahma, from the point of view of realization of Brahman, from the point of view of realization of Brahman, all this is limited only. Apekshaya, Brahma Parameva Yat Prakrutam. So that Brahma is something which is above all this. Brahma Parameva Yat Prakrutam Brahma. The Brahma which we are talking about, Yat Prakrutam means that Brahman which we are talking about. Prakrutam. Prakrutam is the context. In this context we are talking about Brahma. That Prakrutam Brahma is Parameva. It is supreme. It is above that. And what is the nature of that? How is that Brahma defined? Satya Jnana Ananta Lakshanam. We have defined it as Satyam Jnanam Anantam. We discussed these three words. So that which has been characterized as Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam is something supreme when compared to this Ananda, which is exponentially growing. There is no doubt it is exponentially growing, but it is still limited. Then, Yasya cha pratipatyartham pancha annadimaya koshaha upanyastaha. Yasya pratipatyartham is, in order to realize that Brahma, yasya pratipatti, yasya brahmana pratipatyartham, in order to know that particular Brahma, what has the text done? The text has given five Annamaya, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, all these stages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these stages it has given. And after these stages, then you have to realize that whatever Ananda you are having this due to this Vishayas, it is nothing but a glimpse of that Supreme Ananda. And then you should try to control your desires. So the ultimate lesson is that desire, controlling of the desires by Viveka and contemplation, which will lead you to that level of Brahma. So that is the point. Pancha Annadimaya Koshaha Upanyasthaha. Upanyasthaha means they have been discussed, they have been explained. Yacha Tebhyaha Antaram Yena cha te sarve Atmavantaha Tad Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. So that which is their innermost self, Yaksha, and that which Tebhyaha Antaram, with respect to all these, Tebhyaha, with respect to all these Annamayadibhyaha, Antaram, which is inner, which is inside. Inside means it is not as though it is somewhere hidden there. It is something which is more subtle, which is above, much above all these things. And Yena cha sarvam Atmavantaha, and because of this, all other things are Atmavantaha. Their selves are not their own selves, their own, their essence, the very essence is from this Brahma only. So this ultimately Brahma is the Pucham for all these things. For Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha is the Pucham. For Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya is Pucham. For Manomaya, Vijnanamaya is Pucham. So ultimately for Anandamaya it is the Brahma Pucham. So this, it is the Brahma which is the supporting, which is the support for all these things. It is something like a pyramid. On that pyramid there is, on the ground there is one stout man, and on that stout man another man climbs, and on that man another man climbs. So this is the Pucham Pratishtha. So Brahma is the Pucha Pratishtha. Atma Yena cha te sarve Atmavantaha. Because of this Brahma, all other things are getting their identity. Otherwise, if this Brahman is not there, they don't have any identity. Atmavanta, their self is not their own self. It is but the self of this Brahma only. Then Brahma Pucham Pratishtha, that is the support. Tadevacha Sarvasya Avidya Parikalpitasya Dvaitasya Avasana Bhutam Advaitam Brahma Pratishtha Anandamayasya Ekatvavasanatvat. Okay. Tadevacha, and that Brahma itself, that Brahma alone, Tadeva, that Brahma alone, Sarvasya Dvaitasya, of all this Dvaita, of all the duality which has come into existence because of our ignorance, Avidya Parikalpitasya, which has been presented before us because of Avidya, which has been presented before us because of Ajnana. And what is that Ajnana? Not realizing that our essence is the same as that Brahman. Not realizing that the Jiva is essentially the same as Brahman. Jiva is something which is, Jiva is the same as, Jiva, suppose you compare Jiva as to a small entity. Ishvara is another bigger entity, but the essence is consciousness. And then Jiva and Ishvara are both Parichanna. Ishvara means Maya Vachinna Chaitanya. I am not talking about the Supreme Brahman. Suppose Jiva and Ishvara at the level of creator, let us say, at the level of Hiranyagarbha, say, and you are also delimited. Hiranyagarbha also is delimited. And above this is Supreme Reality, and that Supreme Brahman is also of the nature of consciousness, but not having these limitations. So essentially you are that Brahman. So that is what has to be realized. So Sarvasya Avidya Parikalpitasya Dvaitasya, because of this duality, there is at the transactional level, you are having Dvaitam, you are having diversity, you are having a friend, you are having an enemy, you are having say so many things, you are having an identity and all these things. So that is it. Dvaitasya Avasana Bhutam Advaitam Brahma. For all these things, what is the Avasanam? Avasanam means that is the end, that is the culmination. All these things have to come to an end, isn't it? All these things, when you analyze and analyze, when you keep on analyzing the nature of the real nature of all these things, they have to come to an end. They have to end at one point only. And that one point is that Avasana Bhutam, that is the culmination. Avasana Bhutam Advaitam Brahma Pratishtha, that non-dual thing called Brahman, that non-dual entity called Brahman. It is not a person, it is an entity called consciousness, and that consciousness is the support, Puchya Pratishtha. Then Anandamayasya Ekatvavasanatvat. Ekatvavasanatvat means this Anandamaya Kosha has to naturally lead to, has to naturally end in Ekatvam, has to end in one single entity, that is that Brahma. Ekatva avasanatvat means, avasanam means end, as I said, end or culmination. That is the final point. So the Anandamaya has to lead to that final point only. Ekatva avasanatvat. So that is it. Then asti tadekam avidya parikalpitasya dvaitasya avasanabhutam advaitam brahma pratishtha puchyam tad etasmin arthe yesha shloko bhavati. The same Shankaracharya is saying in different words. Asti tad ekam. Yes, there exists that one thing. And what is that one thing? Avidya parikalpitasya dvaitasya avasana bhutam. And that is the culmination of all the, say, dvaita. That is the culmination of all the duality. All the dualities, they end there. And all these dualities which have been presented before us by avidya, by ignorance, by improper understanding. And that is Advaitam Brahma, that non-dual Brahma, which is the Pratishtha Puchyam, which is like the tail, which is the support. And tad etasmin apyarthe, that last line, tadapyesha shloko bhavati. The following shloka is about that. Tadapyesha, tad etasmin arthe means in this particular context, or in order to tell that, in order to describe it, the next verse follows. Another shloko bhavati. So we will come to the sixth Anuvaka. Sixth Anuvaka again, it again a very important Anuvaka. Let us read the Anuvaka first. Asanne evasa bhavati asad brahmeti veda chet asti brahmeti ched-veda samtamenam tato viduriti tasyaisha eva sharira atma yah purvasya athato nuprashnaha. Okay, my book doesn't have these notations. It is not athatho, it is athato, atha, ataha, anuprashnaha. Athato nuprashnaha uta vidvanamum lokam pretya vidvan, uta vidvanamum lokam pretya kaschana gacchati. This is called plutam. You see, if you say ti, it is rasva. Ti dirgha. Ti plutam. So there are three. 1, 2, 3. So kaschana gacchati. Aho vidvanamum lokam pretya. Kaschit samashnutavu. So kamayata bahusyam mahusyam prajayeti satapo tapyata satapastaptva idagam sarvamasrujata yadidam kincha tatsruštva tadevanupravishat tadanupravishya satyatyacha bhavat niruktancha niruktamcha nilayanancha nilayanancha vijnanancha vijnanancha satyancha nrutancha satyamabhavat yadidam kincha tatsatyamitya tadapyesha shloko bhavati. Okay. So we'll just see the meaning first and then we'll go to the Bhashyam. So this is a very important Anuvaka, which says that in the beginning of in the first Anuvaka, what did we see? Akasha, Dvayuhu, Yoragni, Agni, Rapaha, etc., we saw. And then we had an impression that all this Srishti is real. And at the end of the Bhashya, Shankaracharya there too pointed out that all this is not to explain the Srishti, all this description is not to explain creation, but to say that there does not exist anything other than Brahma. It is all Brahma only which we are perceiving as the Jagat. So that is what at that time it was pointed out there in the Bhashyam. And that Bhashyam is based on this thing only. Bhashyam Shankaracharya doesn't create on his own. It is again based on text somewhere. So this is the text which forms the basis for that particular commentary, that apart from Brahma there is no such thing as Jiva Jagat. So this is a very difficult point for us to understand, or rather to immediately accept. If we say that apart from Brahma you and I don't exist, it is very, very difficult for us. For that only we have to do a lot of sadhana. For that only we have to sit and meditate. We have to meditate means we have to shed all our personal identity, and then we have to see what exactly we are. So unless we do that particular meditation about who am I, we will not come to this point. So here the basic point which in this Anuvaka is that Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. Ishvara means the creator. They are all manifestation the same Paramatma. This Srishti is not something, it is again a manifestation in the same Paramatma, and that Paramatma is both Chaitanya and Jada. Both Chaitanya and Jada. This stone, this phone, all these things, whatever you say, this is nothing but a manifestation of that consciousness. So that is what it means. It is all a manifestation of that consciousness only. Whether it is matter or whether it is consciousness, it is all one only. So that is what it says. Then all these Pancha Kosha, the 5 koshas which have been talked about, these 5 sheaths which have been talked about, they are all Bhautika, they are all Bhautikaha. Earlier also we got that word Bhautika. They are all Vikaras, they are all modifications of the 5 Bhutas, Pancha Bhutas. So that is what we saw. So ultimately the point is what we call Brahman, that Brahman is the thing, it is something like a producer, director, actor and also the audience. If you have to give a modern example, he is the director, he is the actor, he is the producer, he is the writer, he is the music director, he is everything, he is the actor and also he is the audience. So that is what is Nataraja Tattvam. Nataraja, he is the creator, he is the actor, he constitutes the whole world. Nataraja, if you recall that very famous, if you attend any dance program, you come across a very beautiful, very wonderful shloka. About Nataraja, Angikam Bhuvanam Yasya. The whole universe is his Angikam. The whole Angikam, the whole universe is his body. Then what is this? Vachikam Sarvavangmayam. The whole Vangmayam. This Om, let us say, this Om constitutes the whole Vangmayam, isn't it? The whole whatever words are possible in any language, this all covered or noted or denoted by this letter Om. Vachikam Sarvavangmayam. Aharam Ahariyam Surya Chandradi. What is the dress which he is having? Ahariyam, not Aharam, Aharyam. What is Aharyam? Surya, Chandra, Nakshatra, all these things, they are the things like decorations on this Lord Shiva. Tam Vande Satvikam Shivam. So Lord Shiva, he is visualized as the whole universe itself. So Shiva's dance means this whole cosmic dance. So that Ananda Kumaraswamy, the book which you have in your office, you read that essay called The Dance of Shiva. There you find the symbolism. So it is like this. So the whole thing is Brahman. Apart from Brahman there is nothing else. So that is the point here. So Asanneva Sabhavati. Sabhavati. Who is that Sa? Okay, we are coming to this. Asad Brahma iti Vedachet. Somebody who thinks or who postulates that there is no such thing as Brahma. Asat Brahma iti Vedachet. There is this Brahma, what you are calling Brahma is something which is non-existent. Asat and Sat, you can take the same meanings which we found in Gita Bhashyam. Nasatva vidyate bhavo nabhavo. Sat is something which is existing, which always exists, and Asat is something which does not exist. Then Asat Brahma iti Vedachet. then saha, that person, asanneva bhavati, that person also becomes non-existent. A person becomes non-existent if he knows or if he says that Brahman itself is non-existent. Why? It is not as though the Upanishad is cursing. If you say that God is not there, you will become zero. The Upanishad is not cursing you. And the Upanishad is only making a factual statement that you cannot dissociate yourself from Brahma. Brahman is something which is infinite. And in that infinite thing called consciousness, you are a part of it. It just as a wave cannot distinguish itself from the sea. A wave cannot say, I am separate from the sea. Wave it is the sea. So like that, you cannot distinguish yourself from the supreme, consciousness. If you want to dissociate yourself, then you will be zero. Infinity, if you want to take out something, what can you take out from that? Zero only. So you become zero, you become non-existent. So that is what it means. Asanneva sabhavati, asat brahmeti vedachet. Somebody who says that Brahma is non-existent, he becomes, of course, Shankaracharya gives two meanings for this asat. Number one is non-existent, and number two is unrighteous. Unrighteous person. Suppose somebody who says that Brahma does not exist and all that, he is an unrighteous person, he is an astika. He is an astika. So both the meanings he is giving. But first meaning is that non-existent. Then asti brahmeti ched veda. If a person realizes that there is Brahma, if a person realizes and then contemplates on that, and he has to keep that as his goal, to realize that Brahman. So asti brahmeti ched veda. Brahma asti iti veda chet. You have to break it like that. Asti brahma iti veda chet. Ched veda is veda chet. If he knows like that, if he realizes that, then santamenam tato viduriti. Enam santam janaha viduhu. Enam, this particular man, santam, says that he himself is an existent person, he himself is existing, he himself is Brahma, not only existing but Brahma also. Evam santaha viduhu, evam janaha viduhu. That is how people will talk about him. People will say, the learned people or the wise men will say that, oh yes, he has realized it correctly. He is Brahma, he is Brahmagyani. So that is what people will say. So that is what it is. Santam enam. Enam, enam is dvitiya. So enam santam iti viduhu. Enam santam iti viduhu. Both are in dvitiya vibhakti. Santam enam. Who viduhu? Who will know? Janaha viduhu. Panditaha viduhu. Buddhaha viduhu. So all these Brahmagyaniнаha, they will say that, oh, this man is a Brahmagyani, he has realized Brahma. So that is it. Viduhu iti. So iti means, that is the end of that mantra. Santamenam tato viduriti. So up to that point is the mantra. And there again this explanation. Tasya eva shariratma is that what is called Brahmana Bhagam. It is the explanation. Tadapyesha shloko bhavati, we have seen it. So up to this viduriti, up to this point is the shloka. Then tasya yesha eva sharira atma. We are now in the context of Anandamaya Kosha, isn't it? Tasya yesha eva sharira atma yah purvasya. Tasya has to be connected with this purvasya. Tasya purvasya Vijnanamayasya, of that earlier one which is that Vijnanamaya, this Anandamaya is the Atma, this Anandamaya is like the soul. Let us not use the word soul because a soul has different connotations in Christianity particularly. So Atma, the very essence, the very self, let us say. So, tasya purvasya yesha eva shariraha atma. Shariraha means sharire bhavaha. Sharira is different from Sharira. Sharira means body. Sharira means that which has emerged from the body. It is not as though this has emerged from that body. In a way, in a figurative way, this is Sharira. Sharira means body. Sharira means that which is the essence of that body, that which has come out of that body, that which Sharire Bhavaha Shariraha. And what is that Shariraha? Anandamaya. Anandamaya is the Sharira. That is the embodied self of Vijnanamaya. So that is it. Yah purvasya. So there it ends, Anandamaya Kosha. Now earlier we have seen Tasmadvaye Tasmad. Here there is no Tasmadvaye Tasmat because from Anandamaya nothing else emerges, because if at all something emerges, it will be another sixth Kosha, which will also be not Brahma. So all these five Koshas, they are at a totally different level. Brahma is at a different level. So that is the point. Then athato anuprashnaha. Now having discussed all these things, atha, then thereafter, ataha, Ataha means because of that. Why because of that means? Because we have realized that all these things are non-Brahma and etc. etc. And because we have realized that Atma is something which is all common to all, this Atma or Brahma, which is Sarva Samatvat, is going to say, Brahma is so common to all, then there are certain questions. If Brahma is common to all, does a fool also realize, does a fool also get liberated? So that is the question. Atha to anuprashnaha. Ataha anuprashnaha. Anuprashnaha means some follow-up questions, some sort of supplementary questions. Anuprashnaha. You have heard up to some point, and then some questions are you raise some questions. So those questions is anuprashna. Anu means after. Anuprashnaha. There is some follow-up questions. What are they? Uta vidvan amum lokam pretya. Uta avidvan. Uta avidvan amum lokam pretya kasyana gacchati. That also we have to combine. Uta avidvan pretya. Pretya means having departed, having left this world. Then amum lokam, that world. Will he reach that world having departed from this world? Not amum lokam pretya. Imam lokam pretya. Imam lokam pretya. Amum lokam gacchati va. That is the question. That pretya should not be connected with amum lokam. You see, uta, whether it is, let us say, uta means whether it is avidvan, uta plus avidvan. Avidvan means an unrealized person, an ignorant person. Pretya, having departed. Amum lokam gacchati, will he go to that say world? And that world, we are not referring to any particular world like Brahmaloka, Vishnuloka, etc. We are referring to Paramatma here. Amum lokam gacchati, kasyana gacchati. Kasyana is api. Will he also go? Will he also go? Kasyana avidvan. This kasyana avidvan. That loka, will he also go? Having departed from here, will he also attain Brahma? Will he also attain realization? Because Brahma is equal to all. Then what is the distinction between an avidvan and a vidvan? So even a fool, when Brahma is equal to all, even a fool will have to realize Brahma. Will he also realize Brahma? Or aho means, or otherwise, aho svit, let us say, aho is aho svit. Vidvan amam lokam pretya kaschit samashnuta. That is vidvan. Vidvan pretya, having departed. Vidvan means a realized person. Pretya, having departed. Amum lokam, that particular Brahman. Samashnuta. Samashnute plus vu. Samashnute means, does he really attain? Ashnute. Ashnute sarvan kaman. Samashnute, we have come across this word. Ashnute means attains. Sam plus ashnute, samashnute. Sam is only an upasarga. Samashnute means, sarva, yadi amum lokam samashnute, will he attain? Vidwan, will he attain that loka? Earlier question was, avidvan, an ignorant person, will he also attain moksha or realization or Brahman? Say here it is a vidvan, a realized person, will he also attain Brahman? Will he also attain moksha? So that is what is the question. Vu means attains or not. Avidvan amam lokam pretya kaschit samashnuta. Will he attain that loka amam pretya amam lokam kaschit kaschit is a question mark. Kachit, you know that kachit samashnuta. Will he attain? That is the question. Then from this point there is a reply. So kamayata saha akamayata. Saha refers to that Brahma only. Akamayata, he desired. Akamayata, that desired means again not exactly, it is not as though there is a person sitting and desired. That also from the point of view of Jiva it is being told. From the point of view of Jiva it is being told that so kamayata, he desired. Then which means that a person is there who is the karanam. Who is the karanam for all these things. So it is saying, the text is saying that he is the nimitta karana. He is the intelligent cause, or he is the, what do we call, say, the instrumental cause, or intelligent cause. So that is what we say. Then bahusyam prajayeya. Bahusyam means may I become many. Aham bahusyam, may I become many. Bahu means many. Aham bahusyam means may I become many. Bahusyam prajayeya. Prajayeya means yes, I will become. I will multiply. I will become many. Prajayeya iti. Then sa tapo tapyata. Then he contemplated, he deliberated. Sa tapaha atapyata. Tapa does not mean, tapas does not mean any sort of tormenting austerity and physically, say, tormenting oneself and then standing on one leg and anything like that. Tapa is contemplation. Tapa alochane. In Vedanta, we have to take the word to mean alochana. Alochana means meditation, contemplation. He contemplated. Then sa tapas taptva. Saha. Sa tapaha taptva. Having contemplated. Idagam sarvam asrujata. All these things he created. Idagam sarvam asrujata. He created. So when you say so kamayata, he is the instrumental cause. Then bahusyam. Let me become many. Let me become many. What does it mean? He himself is the upadana karana. He himself is the material cause. So he is the material cause, he is the nimitta karana. Both are there. So that is why we say abhinna nimitta upadana karana. The nimitta and upadana karanam both are the same thing. Then sa tapo tapyata, sa tapastaptva idam sarvam asrujata. Then yad idam kincha. Yad idam kincha means whatever is there. Yad idam kincha. Yad kincha idam. Yad kincha. Whatever is there. All this. Then tat sruštva, having created that, tadeva anupravishatu. Tadeva anupravishatu. He entered that. He has created, he entered that. In the beginning he said bahusyam. He himself became many. Then here it says he entered. Is it a contradiction? How we have to explain? Of course, we will see the bhashyam. That is why there is a fairly big bhashyam in order to say correlate different words in this particular mantra. He entered them. And in fact, this it is called anupravesha shruti. In Gita, say what is this? Say in Vedanta texts, particularly in Brahma Sutra and other texts, it is referred to as anupravesha shruti. Anupravesha shruti means that particular portion of the text which talks about pravesha, anupravesha. Tas sruštva tadeva anupravishatu. So that is called anupravesha shruti. So it tells about Brahman entering all these things. Brahma say becoming many and also entering all these things. That is anusyutataya. He is the that is the immanent thing in all these things. Then tad anupravishya, having entered, tat anupravishya, having entered that, satcha tyacha abhavat. Sat and tyat, there are two words. Satcha tyacha. Satcha is sat plus cha, is satcha. Tyacha, tyat plus cha. Sat and tyat, there are two words. Sat word, the word sat we are normally aware. And tyat we are not aware. Then even this sat, we should not take the word as satyam jnanam anantam brahma, that's satyam. Where here sat refers to whatever can be seen, whatever is physically perceived. Murta, we say. Murta is something which is perceived. Amurta is something which is not perceived. So out of these five elements, this murta dravya, what can be perceived is bhumi, akasha and not bhumi, akasha, bhumi, jalam and agni. Pruthivi, apaha, tejaha. The earth, water and fire. These three are seen. So these are murta. Then amurta are vayu and akasha. So murta and amurta, vayu and akasha, that is air and space. These are the things which are tyat. Tyat means something which is amurtam, that which is not perceived.
What we are seeing, akasha is not really
Akasha, the concept we know that akasha is beyond air. That air is something and akasha is something beyond. So that is the point here. Pruthivi, apas, tejo, vayu, akasha, we say. So these five elements we have been talking about five elements only, isn't it?
What akasha we are able to see?
Yes, the same one. Oh, that akasha. We are not seeing, we are only seeing emptiness there. Oh, that means you are seeing some blueness in the sky. Oh, that is not, we are not seeing actually. Space we are not seeing here. Between you and me, there is space, there is akasha. Are we seeing it? We are not seeing it. So, tadanup satya, then satya tyacha abhavat. That he is the form, he is the thing which became form, something which is having form, and he also became the formless. Both something with form and formless, both are the Brahman only. Then niruktam cha, aniruktam cha. Niruktam, that which can be defined, that which can be seen, that which can be defined. Aniruktam is that which cannot be defined. Niruktam, you know. Nirukti is definition. Niruktam, that is that which can be defined. Niruktam. Aniruktam cha, that which cannot be defined. Then nilayanancha, anilayanancha. Nilayanam, that which can be spatially, not specially. That which can be confined to a space, that which can be described as stationed in a particular place. Nilayanam, that which is having a nilayanam, that which is having a place, that which is located. And the anilayanam, that which cannot be located in a particular space, that which can be spatially defined, and that which cannot be spatially defined. S-P-A-T-I-A-L-L-Y, spatially defined and spatially not defined. Then vijnanancha, avijnanancha. Vijnanam is chetanam, avijnanam is jadam, that is sentient and insentient, which means all the insentient which we see, the insentient is also a manifestation of that consciousness only, manifestation of that Brahma only. Then satyam cha anrutam cha satyam abhavat. This satyam, this particular Brahma, he became satyam cha anrutam cha. Satyam, one particular satyam refers to Brahma. This particular Brahma, satyam cha anrutam cha abhavat. He became both satyam. Here we have to give the meaning of this worldly level. At a worldly level, we are talking about truth. From the point of view of a court of law. In a court of law, you are speaking truth only and nothing but the truth. So, in that sense, satyam cha, anrutam cha. Anrutam is asatyam, a lie, truth and lie. All these things, satyam abhavat, this satyam abhavat, this Brahma became all that. Then, yadidam kincha, and whatever all vastu, whatever say thing we see, all bhogya vastu means all things which we are seeing, enjoying, all these things, this whole thing is nothing but Brahma. Then tat satyamittya chakshate, so that is what is called satyam, this Brahma, that is what achakshate. Achakshate is plural. People say, people means scholars or vidvamsa, jnaninaha. So all these jnaninaha, what do they say? That is called satyam, that is what is Brahma, which is appearing as all, which is appearing as what all we see. So that is what is Brahma. Tadapyesha shloko bhavati. In that context, this particular verse follows. So we will go into the bhashyam. Asanneva sabhavati. Okay. Asanneva asat samayeva yatha asan apurushartha sambandhi evam sabhavati apurushartha sambandhi kosau yo asad avidyamanam brahma iti veda brahmeti avidyamanam brahma iti veda vijanati ched yadi. So asanneva sabhavati asad brahmeti ched veda, up to that point. So that particular person who says that Brahma is not there, he becomes non-existent. I told you the reason also. The reason is you cannot exclude yourself from Brahma, because from infinity you can't exclude yourself. From infinity, if you want to exclude yourself, see yourself apart from that infinity, you will be zero. So asanneva, asat samayeva. Asat samayeva means equal to non-existent. Equal to non-existent. Asat sama eva. Tat samaha. Sama means equal. Asat samayeva means equal to non-existent. He becomes. Yatha asan. Asan is something non-existing thing. Apurushartha sambandhi. Apurushartha sambandhi means somebody who has nothing to do with any purushartha. You see, all existent things. We are now, let us imagine only human beings, not animals and ants and rats and all these things. Purushartha sambandhi is the Purushartha sambandha is there. We are now talking about human beings, not about rats. We are not talking about a realization of a rat. We are thinking about a realization of a human being. So a human being, a person who is born, he has got certain purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, these purusharthas. Anybody who is born, he is having this connection with these purusharthas. So asat, something which doesn't exist at all, a person who doesn't exist at all, he has no purushartha sambandha. So asan, yatha asan, something which is non-existent, apurushartha sambandhi, it has no connection with any of these purusharthas. It has no connection with any of these human goals called dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Then evam sabhavati, apurushartha sambandhi. Likewise, like that, he is also like that. Somebody who is a social outcast, not exactly an outcast, somebody who is just, who doesn't follow any social norms. A person who doesn't follow any social norms, say that sort of person, a total non-existent. Sabhavati, apurushartha sambandhi. He is not associated by any of these, he is not associated with any of these social norms, which is impossible. He will be thrown in he will be put in the lockup. So, apurushartha sambandhi, evam sabhavati. Likewise, he will be apurushartha sambandhi. Kosau, who is that? Yo means the one who, asat avidyamanam brahma iti veda. Vijanati ched yadi. If somebody postulates, if somebody says that this Brahma is something which is non-existent, he himself does not exist. Because he says, I don't exist. How can he say he doesn't exist? You see, the very person who says Brahma does not exist, he is aware that he is existing. Suppose somebody says Brahma does not exist. He is aware that he himself is existing. Because he is existing, he is making that statement. Then when whatever is the consciousness which is enabling him to know something, whether it is a right statement or false statement, the consciousness which is enabling, the intelligence which is enabling him to know that itself is Brahma. When we say that when somebody says there is no God, there is no Brahma, there is no God, the very intelligence which is enabling him to realize, to say something, that intelligence itself is Brahma. So that is the point. Vijanati ched yadi. Then tad viparyayena yat sarva vikalpaspadam sarva pravrutti bijam sarva vishesha pratyastamitam pratyastamapi pratyastamitam astamitam asti tad brahmeti veda chet. Okay, Veda Chet. Then, Tad Viparyayana. Tad Viparyayana means in contrast to that. Tad Viparyayana, in contrast to the earlier fellow. Yet Sarva Vikalpas, that the one who knows this particular Brahma, which is Sarva Vikalpas Padam, which is the substratum for all these Vikalpas. Aspadam, it is the base, it is the substratum for all this Vikalpa. Vikalpa means all this diversity. We are seeing so much of diversity in the say creation. So of course Vikalpa has another meaning in Vedanta and also in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. That is Shabdajnananupati Vastu Shunyo Vikalpaha. There is a statement, there is a sutra by Patanjali. Vikalpa is Shabdajnananupati. There is only a word. There is a word called say Sheshashrunga. That is the hair of the horn of a hare. The horn of hair, or say Vandhyaputra, the son of a barren woman. Suppose there is a statement. That word alone is there, but the person doesn't exist. So word is there, but the person doesn't exist. So like that, say Mrugatrishna, a mirage, there is a word, but then there is nothing which is existing there. So like that, Shabdajnana Anupati, it follows, Anupati means something which follows a particular word, Shabdajnana. The mind, when it listens to particular sounds, it comprehends some meaning. So that meaning is there in the mind, but then the object is not there. So that is what is called a Vikalpa, something for which there is a word, but there is no object. So like that, the whole universe which can be called a Vikalpa, Vastu Shunya. So for all this, there is a need for a substratum. All these things has to be visualized against some solid, something which is existing only. If you are visualizing something, there should be some basis for that. So that is it. If you are drawing some painting, you have to draw it on some cloth or wall or something. That is the base. So Sarva Vikalpaspadam. Sarva Pravrutti Bijam. That is the seed for all activity. Bijam means seed. Sarva Pravrutti Bijam. Pravrutti means all activity. The whole activity of all beings, living beings, whatever it is, all activity is based on that only. This is the seed. This Brahma is the seed for all this pravrutti. then sarva vishesha pratyastamitam. Though it is pratyastamitam api, pratyastamitam means where everything has disappeared. Astamanam, suryastamayam, astamayam means that is surya gradually disappears, isn't it? That is what is suryastamayam. Here it is astamitam, means it has disappeared. Astamaya is disappearance, astamitam is disappeared. Where all these visheshas, where all these adjectives, so that is why you describe Brahman in terms of what it is not, isn't it? Brahma you describe in terms of this is not, this is not, this is not, neti, 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 na iti. So all these visheshas, so suppose we say there is a particular vishesha, some particular adjective, it doesn't apply, so and so, it is not ultimate, it is not ultimate, it is not absolute. So that is what is sarva vishesha pratyastamitam. All these things have disappeared. Pratyastamitam api, even though the Brahman is of that nature, then asti bratad brahma iti vedachet. Though it is not having any of these adjectives and all that, then this man, he realizes, he knows that Brahma is there. Vedachet. That is the meaning of asti brahma iti chet veda. Then Shankaracharya raises a question. Kutah punarashanka tan nastitve. Kutah punaha ashanka. Kutah punarashanka tan nastitve. Kutah punaha ashanka. Ashanka means a doubt about its non-existence. Tan nastitve. Tasya nastitve. Tan nastitve means tasya nastitve. That is about its non-existence. Why do you have a doubt? Why do you have a doubt about its non-existence? So he is explaining. Vyavaharatittatvam brahmana iti brumaha. The reason is, Brahman is something which is above all this empirical existence, above all this empirical world, and then something which cannot be objectified, something which cannot be perceived by the senses, something which cannot be seen. Vyavahara atitatvam. We know the word vyavahara. Vyavahara means in the empirical lane, at the transactional level. At the transactional level, you are seeing this house, this building, where there is some facility here. When you go out, you see something else. So all these things, they are at the vyavahara level. And Brahman is something which is not at the level of this vyavahara. And you also visualize a God, and then you also visualize a heaven, hell, and all these things. All these things are at the vyavahara level. And then this supreme reality called Brahman is above all these things. Above all the things which we call God, a creator who is also having a prison cell called heaven, some hell, and he is also having some sort of luxury bar or lounge called, say, heaven. So all these things, they are our own visualizations, which are at the empirical level, at a transactional level. So that is it. Vyavahara atitatvam. Atita means something beyond. Vyavahara atita. Atita means going beyond. Brahmana iti brumaha. Brumaha means we say. Then vyavahara vishayehi vacharambhana matre astitva bhavita buddhihi tadviparite vyavaharatite nastitvam pratipadyate. So he is just giving the reason for his question raised by him. Where is the need? Where is the doubt? Why this doubt about its non-existence? Because it is vyavaharatitam. We are not able to see it. It is not at an empirical level. Then vyavahara vishayehi, he means because all these vyavahara vishayas, all the things, all the objects which are at the empirical level, vacharambhana matre, which are all these things which are vacharambhanam. Vacharambhanam means uttering, by conveying that by means of a word. Vacha arambhanam. Vacha arambhanam means to commence it. Arambhanam is commencing something. You are commencing it by a word. You are saying it or conveying it by a word. That is vacharambhanam. This is, of course, vacharambhanam is the word from the Chandogya. Vacharambhanam namadheyam mruttike ityeva satyam. That line we have come across several times in the Bhashyam. Vacharambhanam vikaro namadheyam. It is just a vikara. Namadheyam, mere name. Namadheyam means mere name. So that is it. So vacharambhana matre astitva bhavita buddhihi. This idea, this knowledge that there is something existing. Astitva bhavita. This astitva buddhi. Astitva bhavita buddhi means something which is that buddhi, the idea or knowledge that something is existing. That sort of buddhi arises in the case of something which is at a vyavahara plane, at the level of transaction, at an empirical level. In the case of a thing which is at the level of, at an empirical level, you have this astitva buddhi, that is an idea that something which is existing. And then Brahma is something tad viparita vyavaharatite, something in totally contrast to that, in contrast to something which is existing. Vyavaharatita, something which goes beyond that empirical level. In that thing, nastitvam api pratipadyate. And you will have an idea. Pratipatti is jnanam. Pratipadyate means that sort of knowledge arises. What is that knowledge? Nastitvam. It is not there. In something which is not empirically perceived, you get an idea that it doesn't exist. So that's the meaning. Then yatha ghatadi vyavahara vishayataya upapannaha san. Okay, vishayataya upapannaha san. Vishayo upapannaha san. Tad viparito asanniti prasiddham. Yatha, just as ghatadi vyavahara vishayataya upapannaha, something which has been brought into our knowledge by way of certain words like ghata, ghatadi vyavahara vishayataya upapannaha, something which has been brought into existence, which has been brought in front of us in the name of a ghata. There is some object which has been seen, which has been put in front of us. Ghatadi vishaya vyavahara vishaya. Vyavahara vishaya means something which can be used at a transactional level. Artha kriya karitvam, it is said. Artha kriya karitvam means you can take a ghata, you can take it to the pond, you can take some water and then do all these things. So that is artha kriya karitvam. It is capable of being used for a particular job. That is artha kriya karitvam, mimamsakas they say. So yatha ghatadi vyavahara vishayataya upapannaha san. We say, it is not the ultimate theory. We say that something which is seen at a vyavahara plane, we call it san, that exists. And then tad viparitaha asanniti prasiddham. Prasiddham means it is quite commonly known. It is commonly known that tad viparitaha, something which is not there in the vyavahara plane, something which is not perceived at an empirical plane, we say it doesn't exist. So it is prasiddham. That is a normal perception. That is our normal view. Evam tat samanyat ihapi syad brahmano nastitva pratyashanka nastitvam pratyashanka. What does it say? Your book? Nastitvam seems to be better. Nastitvam prati ashanka. Nastitva prati ashanka. Nastitva prati ashanka also is okay. Nastitvam prati ashanka seems to be more clear. Evam, hence, tat samanyat, in the same analogy, on the same analogy, ihapi, here also, in this case also, brahmanaha nastitvam prati ashanka syat. This syat has to be taken to the end. Ihapi syad brahmanaha nastitva prati ashanka. This syat has to be taken to the end. Brahmana nastitvam prati ashanka syat. Brahmanaha nastitvam prati ashanka syat. So this doubt can exist about the non-existence of Brahma. Doubt can exist about the existence of Brahma, or doubt can exist about the nastitva. The word says nastitva only, non-existence of Brahma. So what is the meaning? What is the overall point? Generally our perception is whatever is there available at a transactional level we are able to see. We say that it exists, and then whatever is not at an empirical plane we say it does not exist. So that is the reason why we have got a doubt. Then tasmad uchyate asti brahmeti chedveda iti. So that is why it has been said by the text, asti brahmeti chedveda santamenam tato viduriti. So asti brahmeti chedveda, first of all, he has put a question. Why should you get a doubt at all about the non-existence, about the existence of a Brahma? Because a common man's perception is like this. Because you can only accept something which is physically seen, you may have a doubt. So that is why it is said Asti Brahmeti Chedveda iti. So we'll stop here, continue in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti